If you would have told me at the beginning of the season that we'd be seeing the Thunder versus the Pacers in the NBA Finals this season, I probably would have called you crazy. Although the Thunder are my favorite team and I would love to see them in the finals, which we most likely will, with them being up 3-1 against the Minnesota Timberwolves and then the Pacers being up 3-1, winning this game against the Knicks tonight, I would have probably called you crazy. Two of the most organically built teams in the league. You also got teams like the Rockets out there, organically built through the draft and things of that nature. But just great GM work, great coaching, great superstars, one and two All NBA type of stylistic of players. When you got J Dub and Shea over on the Thunder, and then you got Tyrese Haliburton and Pascal over here on the Indiana Pacers side of things. Not to mention, both teams have great defense and great bench players who can produce offensively as well as defensively when the starters are taken out of the game. You've seen a guy tonight like Benedict Mathurin come in and immediately be in the offense for the Indiana Pacers. TJ McConnell is always in that kind of role for the Indiana Pacers. When Tyrese Haliburton is off of the floor, he pushes the pace, get paint touches, gets to that mid-range shot. We won't see him take a lot of threes, but he is effective once he is getting into that paint, and you have to really try your hardest to get him to miss, because regardless of the shot that he's getting up, he feels like he can make it, and 9 times out of 10 it damn near feels like he does. So I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing from both teams. Like I said, organically built through the draft, through free agency, through just making the right moves as far as like trading and things like that. Getting a guy like Pascal in there last year or a couple seasons ago, and making this team feel more complete. The way that the Thunder are rallying around their MVP and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but are also able to get a productive game out of a guy like J-Dub, giving you 31 points in his best game of the playoffs this year. Really producing in all facets of the game, rebounding, assisting, defensively, just doing the job of an all NBA type of player. Obviously, this is his first year as an all-star, all-NBA player. This is only his third year in the league. People forget how young Jalen Williams actually is. Third or fourth year. I actually forget how young he is majority of the time. But when you really think about the tandem and the duo that we have potentially upon us, and a point guard and a power forward on both ends of that facet going into the NBA Finals, because I don't see a world where either of these teams blow a 3-1 lead, especially with the Thunder going back home in Game 5, and then the Pacers have won 2 games in New York already this series. So it's pretty much wraps to me, and we have our NBA Finals teams already established. I thought once we won Game 2 against the Timberwolves that we would eventually inevitably advance to NBA Finals, and I'm very, very proud of the way that the Thunder have been hooping in these playoffs. Although we have had hiccups, and it was a scary series last series against Jokic and the Denver Nuggets with all the shenanigans with Aaron Gordon. You had Russell Westbrook making impactful plays and just coming alive. Christian Brown doing what he had to do. Peyton Watson defensive. We had a really tough series last series, and to turn it around after only having 1 day off, having to fly to Minnesota and try to game plan for them on the fly, essentially. And the way that we were able to perform not only in Game 1 but in Game 2, considered blowouts, and then losing in Game 3 by 41 points, 42 points, however many points it was. Like I said, coming off a 7-game series and only having 1 day in between every game, even back to the Denver Nuggets series, you just got to chalk that up to fatigue, shots just not falling, and we're on the road at that point where the Timberwolves are comfortable in that regard. But in that game last night, and then we're only going to speak on this game very briefly and then move over to the Pacers and Knicks game. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, man, what can I say? 40 points in the game and just doing it all for the Thunder. In the first half, he ended up with, 21 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and a steal, 7 of 15 from the field. Just so poised and able to get to his spots, being aggressive while also balancing that out with perimeter shots from beyond the arc. 2 for 5 from 3. You had a combined total amongst Shea and J-Dub of 36 points in that first half, just carrying the offense and doing so comfortably and making it look easy. While on the other end of things, Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards only combined for 9 points on less than 10 total shots amongst the two of them. Both through 24 minutes of the game, 2 of 6 from the field. Like I said, while J-Dub and Shea were carrying the load offensively for their respective teams. Obviously, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander with 21 of those points, J-Dub with 15. But in that first quarter, they really played through Jalen Williams a lot through that first opening of the game. First 3 possessions, he went 2 of 3 from the field and got some really nice looks. And throughout this game, I really felt like with him being able to get going like that early, that led to the way that he was able to produce for us down the stretch when we really needed those shots, like the 3 that he was able to hit off of the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander falling and throwing the ball between the legs of Jaden McDaniels. That really led to Jalen Williams being comfortable down the stretch and being able to come up with clutch plays and hitting really timely shots throughout the game, all game. And then on the other end of things, Alexander Walker, man, he was a real difference, really big difference maker offensively with all the threes that he was able to hit, keeping Minnesota in the game, and he was able to leave his impact on the game in that second half, really being confident in himself and the team trusting in him in that same regard, along with Dante DiVincenzo. They were both just really supplying a lot of offense and being snipers, off of that bench for the Minnesota Timberwolves in that game. Energy, effort, buckets, all third and fourth quarter, and really being the main source of offense for the Timberwolves in that back end of the game. For the most part, they were, getting every chance that they had with the ball. Like I said, for the most part, they were being impactful and scoring the ball, or in other cases, Nickeil Alexander-Walker playmaking at times and finding guys for wide open shots and able to knock that down. But in the back end of this game, I will say it was kind of remnants of that 16-point lead that we blew in Game 1 against the Denver Nuggets, where in the final closing seconds of the game, we missed some critical free throws. Aaron Gordon was able to go down there and hit that 3 and win the game. Shea missed that free throw to put us up by 3. Things happened. Luckily, nothing drastic to where we were able to move to where we were going to lose that game, and we were able to pull it out by 2 at the end of the day. But I will say the Timberwolves really locked in that fourth quarter, specifically on offensive rebounding and getting those second chance points. That played a major part all game for both teams, but specifically in the fourth quarter for the Timberwolves. It seemed that every miss went to the offense, like every time, whether it was a 3 or it was a layup or a mid-range, whatever it was, on both sides of the ball, for OKC or for the Minnesota Timberwolves. That ball just bounced right back to the offense, and it was really huge for the Wolves and kept them in the game. It nearly cost us the game down the stretch with McDaniels hitting that corner 3. I think it was 125 to 121 at that point, and then Rudy Gobert got an offensive putback a couple possessions later. So like I said, it was a little remnants of that Game 1 blowing that 16-point lead, but Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, being the MVP that he is, actually, controlling the pace all game and getting to his spots, getting J-Dub going early on and being confident. Alex Caruso played a major part, as well as Chet offensively in the fourth quarter. He had a huge impact on the game. So being up 3-1, bro, I don't see a world where we lose this series, or where even if the Timberwolves win Game 5, I don't see them winning that in OKC. OKC have been very, very productive coming off of losses. Now 16-2 following losses this season, and now 4-0 in the playoffs once those losses occurred. So, we lose Game 5, we just win it in Game 6. But switching over to the New York versus Pacers game, Jalen Brunson in that first quarter, man, he got going to work offensively, carrying the scoring load with 13 first quarter points, 5 of 7 from the field. But Haliburton, man, got himself going as well with his pops in the building, got really comfortable, 15 points of his own, 80% from the field. Towns, Karl-Anthony Towns is so damn frustrating to watch sometimes, bro, especially his fouls. Like, they're just this, like Reggie Miller says it every game, it's a silly foul for Towns. Every damn foul, it seems like it's just a brain fart for Karl-Anthony Towns. Like, in the back end of that game, he had one where he was holding on to Miles Turner's wrist as he's trying to create separation on the inbounds. Like, that's so, It's stupid, honestly. Like you have to be better for a guy that's been in this position time and time again in the playoffs. I'm not even speaking about being in the conference finals. I'm talking about being in a position of uh, a top two player on the team and having such impact on the game. When you're not on the floor, it changes the dynamic of the team. Offensively, obviously, defensively, having Mitchell Robinson in there is a little bit better, but it changes the way that the defense has to play on Jalen Brunson. Now they can focus on him as opposed to having you on that back end as a second line of scoring help, spreading out the floor, getting Miles Turner out of the paint. He did have that one play in the third quarter where Mitchell Robinson was in the game, being such a dominant force on the offensive boards. I think he had 3 to 4 offensive rebounds in about a 5-minute stretch in that third quarter, where Towns got the ball at the top on the left wing, did a pump fake, Pascal Siakam jump. Miles Turner was assuming that he took that shot, so he's kind of face guarding for to an extent Mitchell Robinson and kind of trying to box him out of the play early on, and it left a wide open lane for Karl-Anthony Towns to go and get a dunk. A lot of that credited to Mitchell Robinson and the work that he was putting in on the glass, but also to the ability of Karl-Anthony Towns shooting. They have to respect that shot. He's been hitting. I mean, it's really been hit or miss for Towns in this playoffs. We saw the 20-point fourth quarter that he was able to put on a couple nights ago and help the Knicks to that win. But is the bringing it back to the fouling things when you're not on the floor, those things cannot happen. There's an ultra focus on the Jalen Brunson because Josh Hart off of the bench is not giving you 20 points that a Towns could give you being in the game. Miles McBride, he's kind of limited offensively if he's not taking those 3 points, if he's not hitting his 3-point shot. And then guys like Mikal Bridges only knows one fucking shot now. Excuse my language, but he only knows one shot, and he only has one shot in his arsenal now, and it's the turnaround mid range. He got the ball in a fast break right under the rim. He could have just gone straight up and maybe drawn a foul, but he took a couple dribbles, turned around and shot a fadeaway, missed Indiana's on a fast break. I don't understand why he's taken that shot more than I've seen him take any other shot in this entire playoffs, and it's the most frustrating thing because it's every time he touches the ball, it's damn near he's either taking an off balance 3, like he took 3 in the final closing minutes of the fourth quarter. He took maybe 3 or 4 off balance threes. He hit a couple of them, but the other ones were really quick. First of all, and he was not able to really get control of the ball and really get on balance, like I was saying, on off balance 3. He wasn't really able to find that rhythm in the shots, and he missed quite a few in the closing minutes of that game. And then just not able to, stay in front of Haliburton on the other end. He's able to get downhill a couple times and make plays happen, getting paint touches and getting the guys the ball in spots where they can get good shots. And just Mikal Bridges the past few games I have not been impressed with his production. And then OG Anunoby, pretty much the same thing. I mean, he does take different shots. He was able to get into the paint a lot in this game, and then to get to the free throw line. I want to say he ended the game with about 20 points. He ended the game with a total of 22 points, 3 steals, 2 blocks, 7 of 16 shooting. But he shot piss poor from the 3, 1 of 7. And the one that he did hit, the shot clock was winding down. He just had to get it up. Pascal played amazing defense. It just so happened that shot fell for him. So we just the offense for the Knicks. If it wasn't for Brunson in that third quarter, getting to the free throw line, Karl-Anthony Towns being aggressive and getting to that free throw line, I did like the way that he was able to hold it down for Brunson when he was out of the game in that second quarter, and keep the Knicks within striking distance, getting to the line a handful of times, as I mentioned, and doing what he had to do to keep the game where it needed to be. There were 10 total ties and 13 total lead changes in the first half. And a lot of that had to do with just a game of runs. Indiana goes on a 14-6 run or whatever it may have been. The Knicks spin back with their own run. And even in the Thunder game, in that third or fourth quarter, I kid you not, there were about 5 different runs that took place to where it was Yeah, the third quarter was a legit back and forth of runs. Anthony Edwards got downhill to start the third quarter, and opened up in the second half. Excuse me, and it opened up the game more for the team. And he was able to get into the paint and get kickouts to guys for open shots. Help get a 9-0 run, cutting the Thunder lead to just 2 points. Conley hitting the corner three, and then Rudy got the big dunk that turned the place up. But then the Thunder go down and get a 7-point swing of their own, creating separation on the scoreboard once again. And then you get Minnesota finding 11 points off of three made threes. A couple from Dante DiVincenzo. You got one from Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And I want to say Rudy Gobert got a layup under the rim. And I kid you not, the Thunder go down after the Wolves tied the game at 79 on that 11-2 run. Spins a 7-0 run right back. Like this, both of these games were battles back and forth between two really experienced teams when you talk about who they are led by, and then Anthony Edwards, who is top 10 in playoff average scoring, in top 10 all time in playoff scoring for a guy that is only 23 years old. His poise, excuse me, although he doesn't take great shots all throughout the game, I do like the way that he is making the right plays, finding guys and not forcing too many shots. But I do feel like his aggression in the paint, although the Thunder are smothering the hell out of him, is really hard. And I can't really even say much about it, but the way that he was able to perform in Game 3 to give the Wolves damn near 40 points, obviously Mark Daigneault and the OKC Thunder are the best defensive team in the league, so they're going to scheme against that and find out how he was able to get those and, kind of counterbalance that with the triple team, so to speak, collapsing on him once he touches the paint. To be a solidified superstar in the league, you have to find consistency in that game. Is kind of what I'm trying to get at. Like a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's averaging, if not over 30, damn near 30 points per game in his playoffs. Like he's had a stretch of like 7 straight 30-point games, if I'm not mistaken. He may have had one game, maybe in this series, where he didn't touch 30, but the dude has been hooping, man. But back to the Knicks and Pacers game. Coming out of the third quarter, I thought the Knicks came out very flat. 13-0 extended run for the Pacers, just on the back of great defense and getting out in transition, positioned them ahead of the Knicks by 12 points. Like I said, the Knicks came out very flat while the Pacers looked locked in on both ends of the floor, and that's where I really feel like the Knicks lost the game. They were never really able to get their footing back, and although I'm praising the Pacers right now, I do feel like once they do get to the finals and go against a defense like the OKC Thunder, not glazing just because it's my team, but you just have to speak facts. There were a few possessions to end the third quarter, to end the half, where Haliburton, as good as he did play, he shot 3 really bad threes, or really bad shots. A couple of them were threes that I thought stalled the offense and kind of killed the momentum that they were building, although they were able to find it down the line in the closing moments of the second quarter to give them that 13-0 extended run. I feel like there was a point where they were able to put their foot on the Knicks' neck and really get that separation that they wanted, as opposed to being up 7, 8 points, whatever it was at halftime. They could have been up 12, 13. And then, as Reggie Miller pointed out, early on in that third quarter, during their run that they were on, there were 3 back-to-back possessions where they shot 3 threes, and they were forced, they were early, and at that point I think they were shooting 3 for 10 from the field. The Knicks were shooting 5 for 7, so the Knicks were able to kind of claw their way back into the game and give themselves a chance, with the Pacers not struggling but not playing the offense that they were that was working for them. That was the success that they had getting into the paint and still able to keep the lead through all that. But what was working was working for them. And against a team like the Thunder, you go away from that, it's going to be hard for you to find that back again unless you are a guy like a Nikola Jokic. I will say though, I don't think we have an answer for a Pascal unless we put Dort on him. But then that means a guy like, I don't know, because we got Caruso, we got Dort, we got J-Dub, who is all all defensive second team, and we also have Case and Wallace off the bench. We have guys that we could put on a Tyrese Haliburton, and we can main a Dort on a a Siakam. So I don't know, but I really do think that if we do play the Pacers, it'll end up being a battle. If we play the Knicks, I feel like we'll sweep them because they don't have anything outside of Brunson that they can really do. Karl Anthony Towns is going to be in foul trouble. Trying to guard Chet. I mean, maybe not because he does have the size and strength advantage over Chet, but yeah, we'll see. And then finishing up the notes that I did have for this game, the Pacers are 31-4 when Haliburton scores over 20 points this season. So it seems, that's a recipe that if he's scoring 20 points, and then not to mention he had 15 assists in this game with 0 turnovers. He was 1 or 2 rebounds shy at halftime of a triple double, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, 8 or 9 rebounds. So, ending the game with 32. Into the game with 32 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists, 4 steals, 11 of 23 from the field. Like I said, got a little Chuck happy from 3. Ended up going 5 of 12 from there, and 0 turnovers for the game. This was a hell of a game for Tyrese Haliburton. Pascal Siakam ended up matching him damn near with 30 points of his own, really in that second half, coming alive and doing what he had to do. Their bench combined for a total of, Benedict Mathurin had 20 points off the bench. I didn't realize he was hooping that much. Damn. Like I said earlier, he came in and was instant offense for them, but I didn't realize he had 20 points in 12 and a half minutes. He did his damn thing. 5 of 8 from the field. Didn't hit a 3, but he got to the free throw line 5 or 6 times. 10 of 11 from the free throw line. An amazing game from Benedict Mathurin. He was the X factor in this game for them. A total of That's 37 points off the bench for Indiana. Great game for them. Josh Hart, even though he fouled out in 33 minutes, he gave you 12 points, 11 rebounds. He did all he could, while the rest of the bench gave you 9 points combined amongst 4 players. Precious Achiuwa saw minutes in this game for the first time of the series because Towns got in early foul trouble. Yeah, man. Knicks go down 3-1, and it does not look like they will be able to come back from this one. They had a chance, but I just feel like with the Pacers being such a complete team and not really having consistent offense outside of a Towns or Jalen Brunson in this series from anyone, that really hurt them. The Pacers have defensive weapons like Anis Smith, Nembhard, even Benedict Mathurin in a few minutes, or Ben Shepherd, that the burn that he gets to throw at a Brunson and make it tough for him. So yeah, Pacers, Thunder, NBA Finals. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm rolling with right now. Thunder in 5. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.